technically looking at me and Emma, like I'm white, he's black. Like to the world, that's not unity, and the world doesn't want this to come together.
If you are both serious, okay, look, we want to spend the rest of our lives together. You are in UK, I'm in Ghana. It would work.
Welcome to our channel once again. We told you that at some point we'll be bringing people on board to also share their experience and all of that. So today we have Emmanuel, Hagan, and Florence Makuden. But very soon the missus. Well, no spoilers, but okay. So how have you guys been so far?
I mean, we've been good. We've learned to remain positive.
Right.
Yeah, it's very important because you can easily complain about everything that is going on.
Yeah.
But even for our devotion this week, I'm learning a lot. Learning to choose praise over the confusion and the challenges.
Right.
So,
So first of all, I want to start by just like a little history, how everything started.
Yeah, you want to?
Yeah. So I'll say the shortest version as I can. So I arrived here in Ghana from the UK in May 2019. But I came for a little visit in March 2019 just to see how living here in Ghana, and I was also just here on mission for the church. And how that all would be like. And then during that time, I actually ended up meeting Emma like 2 days before I was due to travel back.
Okay.
And I think I was told upon advice that like Emma would be like the best person to take me to the art center in Ghana to buy some gifts for like for my friends back home. And then so then I met him. I was like, "You're Emmanuel," and then like and then we just kind of got like really well, like there was a connection, like probably like really easy to
there
talk
was that kind of
about,
open conversation right from the beginning, not trying to impress each person,
it's just
being yourself. And
but then I didn't think anything of it, so like we met like and we had like some fellowship, and then like he took me to the art center, and then that's kind of all I thought of it when I went to England, thinking, oh, he'd be a really great friend to like be around, like when I actually moved here. That's all I thought. And then like I came back, and then I think it was literally within about a month that we kind of realized that we liked each other. But I didn't really know what to do about it, because personally I thought that I had kind of put in my brain that, oh, you're here on mission, you're not going to date anybody, and be just like I wasn't expecting that, basically. So then we took up. There was advice basically given to us that it was advisable that we wait for like 6 months before we could date, which was really difficult.
Right.
But we took it and we did it, and I think that whole experience, I guess, was. It's like we learned a lot, and just like kind of took our time. Like we were kind of told to just take our time, get to know get to know like, and if you really want to be like with that person, and like kind of really like take like start that off as like it's just like friendship first, and like, well, what's he like? Really get to know like what is he like what what are his dislikes, his dreams, his visions, and like. Can I come into that?
Right.
And also just to be like, I was like really praying in that season, being like, well, do I still have this conviction that I like want to like date this guy?
And sure, this is your short version.
This is it's actually longer then, but but yeah. Anyway, so we started dating in January last year.
So Emmanuel, what's your version?
She said everything. That's the full report. So.
So when you guys were asked to like wait for 6 months, was there any point that you felt like I don't think I can wait? Like, do you ever feel like that?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no need to hide anything. I was, to be very honest, I mean, it was a battle. We even disobeyed.
Yeah, that's true, we did.
The very beginning, and we had Pastor Ali and Karen called us in, and they were like, "Guys, it's not going the way we planned it." And then the second time of meeting was when we realized that why are they even doing this in the first place? So then that is when it started to make sense to us. Instead of we're quick to complain, and that was the thing. Instead of trying to take our time and understand why our pastors were making this decision for us. So that was.
So obviously, you guys have different backgrounds, and do you think this is a factor as to like why they asked you to wait for 6 months or something, or you think it was for a different reason?
So one key thing, and I'll still be very open here.
Right.
Yeah, initially I took offense of it, and I had that kind of thought that is it because we are from different backgrounds? That's why, and they are trying to bring this decision up. Yeah, so that was an honest thing. I thought of it at some point. Yeah, but then I also realized one comment I think they both made, and were like, it is very easy for you to, when you've met a person and you have that crush, and then you're like, wow, this person I love the way the person is.
Right.
At that instant, so many things can factor into why you like the person. It could be your emotions that are stirring up, and it's getting you crazy. It's not making you focus to really understand why you like this person. So that was where I picked the whole idea from. So they were like, give yourself some time, assess your emotions, be friends, and then if truly it was genuine, I mean, it won't go away. Yeah, the friendship will not take it away. It will still remain. Right. Yeah.
So in a nutshell, you say patience, like is what actually took you guys through.
And faith.
Right.
Majorly faith, like I would say, like praying all the time, but also like I was reading up on started reading relationship-based books and Christian relationship-based books.
Another tip.
So like to work out whether I think for me, I'd come from a past of previous unhealthy relationships. So for me, I was trying to work out, what is healthy, and work that out with God. And especially for me, being kind of here in Ghana, my family aren't around, I'm away from home. And for me thinking about, is this the person I potentially want to spend the rest of my life with? And what are the consequences of that? Such as obviously not necessarily going back home for the rest of my life, or having to. So for me, there were other big cultural kind of things to think about during that time, and whether I was am I committed to doing that or not? So
or would you say you have lost something making this decision? Maybe it could be in your family or anything you had back in the UK?
Well, it's a loss, but it's also not a loss, and it's something that you think about. It's more of a future thing. I think about being with my family. I'll maybe only see them. Well, I'm hoping I'll see them at least once a year. But obviously with COVID, I haven't seen them since December. 2019 was the last time I went home to the UK. But and I think you're sometimes there's more of a morbid thing you think about when if your parents get sick and you're far away and you can't look after them. But I remember asking. We met with a interracial couple recently who live here in Ghana, and I kind of asked the wife, who was also British, was this question of do you ever feel homesick, or do you ever feel you're missing out on family stuff? And she said actually the opposite. She was no, because her family started taking an interest in in Ghana, where she was living, and then she said she got to go back for so many occasions, and that God had just provided with them with the resources and the funds to do that, and also that family also came over. Right. So for me, actually that answer made me feel a lot better. And then I'm starting to see it with my family. They're getting more intrigued about coming here and like, even though they can't come for the wedding, but like post like COVID, they're all looking forward to being like, I'm coming to Ghana next year, like, and then like, I think it's just like, now it's like, oh, I don't think about that so much, so like there's a whole adventure that I will see them all the time. And technology is also like really good.
Yeah. In what sense, Mr. Emmanuel, how has technology, right?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Emmanuel, how has that also been a factor?
Yeah, I mean, for me, technology has been a huge factor because with the COVID situation, I've not met the family physically, but today I can talk about the family as though we've really met.
Yeah.
And you know, God providing this technology for us. I mean, had a chat with the family, virtually everyone. They've also met my parents, and it feels, you know, it's like when you are genuine about something, it is not meeting physical that will determine. The distance will not have any effect. Because you are genuine, because you have good intentions for that thing, the distance still would give you answers to what you want. And I mean, I speak to the family on video and I'm like, I feel like I've known them because we are being ourselves. And I'm trying to get to know them, they're trying to get to know me. So that realness of it makes it feel like you already know yourselves and you are trying to, I mean, you don't feel that you've missed anything out. You don't feel like you've missed anything out. So yeah, so that is.
Yeah, the story is getting interesting. So I know with COVID protocols and all of that, I wish they could see your face, but I will still wear my mask if you don't mind. Because yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Since both of you.
Hello.
Yeah, so that's Flo and Emmanuel. Just in case you're wondering how they look like. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so imagine it wasn't just Flo's family, but it was Flo herself who was in that distance, and you were here. I mean, how would the situation be?
So in a situation where she wouldn't have been around.
Yeah. So she
and then we're doing the distance thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there are some few things I would never take for granted. In the first place, distance. Once you've come to know each other, in the first, why am I even making that effort to be with that person?
Yeah.
Why am I telling you that I want you to be in a relationship with me? What is your purpose? What is your definition of why are you going into this thing? So defining why you're in a relationship with the person is the foundation.
Yeah.
And the definition of it is what will begin to build the walls of it. So then the distance does not matter because your definition will commit you to what you're doing. And you know, it leads to open conversations. It leads to effective communication.
True.
You know, learning to say sorry in the course of conflict. I mean, connections, learning to connect, getting to know each other, really getting to know each other. It's not like, so if I'm in for fun because maybe I feel like, oh, I have with my peers, I'm the only one single and I need to get on board, get to know, then you are joining for a reason of not having people to say that you're single.
True.
So your definition determines your commitment, and the distance will not stop you. Yeah. If you are both serious, okay. Look, we want to spend the rest of our lives together. You are in UK, I'm in Ghana. It would work. It will start with you and how you define the relationship you are going into. That is where it starts from. Yeah, that is where it starts from.
But I also think that with that, you've got to have that, you know, like that hope of getting to the end of, like, you know, that goal of like, we will be together and we will be married at some point. Like, because without that, having that kind of conviction, it's like, well, where is that? But I think, I'm trying to say that.
Yeah, so
like eventually it has to come to that point where you will, like eventually. Otherwise, it's kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's how I was using the concept of building. You won't put up the foundation. You will not put up the foundation and then say that I'm done with the building. Building is adding the walls, adding the roofing. So then you have a goal, you have a completion in mind. You will not lay the foundation and pack your things and come and say, I'm staying in the house.
Yeah.
You need to raise the walls and roof it. So and you defined your construction by starting with the foundation.
Yeah.
In the same way, I defined my relationship with you by starting with why am I in it? Okay, it's marriage. Marriage completion is when we have both come and we are saying, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. We pronounce it publicly, we have the rings on in the church, and then we move in together. So then at that point, you have completed the building.
Right.
And then it makes sense to, connecting the relationship to the building scenario.
But I think you shouldn't, or if you have to leave it for so long because of other circumstances, fine. But eventually, it shouldn't be to be honest, it really shouldn't be too long.
Right.
Because
It shouldn't. It's
and
not,
you
it's
have
not really
making
advisable.
that choice, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We have some questions from Niara, and our time is almost
Niara.
up. So
Yeah.
Hey, Flo. How much was Emmanuel a part of your decision to stay in Ghana?
Wow, I love this question. In all honesty, he was probably 95% of why I wanted to stay, because ultimately I was convicted that this was going somewhere, and that obviously last year I had 2 occasions where I could have gone home, back to the UK, and I didn't, obviously didn't want to go, but and obviously got to stay, praise God. But I think even with that I was no, I have to stay, because I this is we were in kind of the second time when I was threatened to go, I was we were on the cusp of getting engaged, so it was no, I have to kind of
because if you
ultimately
leave, then
and
when?
And I was also we'd been on this whole journey, and I was well, what was this journey for? And the purpose of that. But also we were deciding how it would work if I did go home. But I remember also there's something that my dad said about when he was giving his blessings for me to marry Emma. He was as long as she's happy and she has purpose, here. So I say 95, and then the 5% was actually I wasn't done with my purpose and my mission, and I'm still not done. And just how much I love this country in general. But that's 95% because of Emma.
Ghana for you.
Yeah.
Ghana so much. Okay.
Being from 2 different backgrounds, what is or has been your biggest challenge, and how have you coped?
The interesting thing is, even when you are getting married to a Ghanaian, even if we are all within the same ethnic background, me being a Fanti, getting married to a Fanti lady, there are still differences between us. Even within the same, even you and your sibling, you have some differences. So even marrying someone from a different ethnic group background in Ghana, there are some differences. The person maybe is from Volta region, you're from, I remember when Samuel was going to get married to Agnes, at the engagement, we saw things that were different, because the Voltarians had a certain tradition that we had to embrace. Right. So even for him, he had experienced something different. Yeah. And so the difference starts even within the environment around you. To even talk of the bigger picture when the person is coming from outside. Yeah, and we realize that no matter what, one key thing, create your own culture. And that one, it goes for everyone. Wow. Even if you are marrying someone within the same ethnic background, create your own culture. Okay. You will take advice from people. Elderly people will tell you, your mom, your dad will tell you, oh, in your marriage, do this, do that, apply this. You listen, and then you, based on that, you create what will work for you. And that is what we did, and it helped us to cope up to now, because we started to create our own culture. What will suit us, what will not suit us, and that is what has brought us back. Do we involve God? Do we not? Do we learn to communicate? Do we learn to compromise? Do we tell everyone? Do we tell each other every major thing? We don't keep things. So these are the components. You put them together, and then you build your culture, and it helps you to cope with your.
Wow.
Yeah, it helps you to cope with your challenges.
I also have to say there was. I think this was one of the. When I was thinking about us sitting down and doing this, it's like this is the one thing I wanted to say about. Do you remember when Reverend PP talked about actually like technically looking at me and Emma, like I'm white, he's black. Like the world doesn't want like that to the world. That's not unity, and that's the world doesn't want this to come together, especially in terms of race. But then he was like, but God, like you know, like tongues of fire, different languages, everyone like coming together in unity. Like, so this is God's purpose actually. So it's what the world doesn't want. This is actually, it's like elevation on God, and it's God's purpose for our lives, and also to show this to the world in order to change the world. So like actually as us just being together and married, there's a higher purpose in itself, like to just being alone. So even that's included in like just even if it's different cultures.
What has been the most fun aspect of getting to know each other?
The fun aspect of it. I think I remember when we did the pre-marriage program, one of the things that they spoke about was adventure. And I remember they were talking about the fact that when they started dating, and sometimes they had to make time for their own special dating time. You know, at times it feels like a lot of work. You know, it's like it has to take them a lot to plan, and then sometimes they even give up. But then they realize that it's the two of them that they are creating the fun. They are creating the fun for themselves. It's not for someone else. It's for both of us to enjoy. So when we say that we want to do something extra special from our daily routine, it is for both of us. It's not for someone else. So then why don't you create what will work for you? Sometimes you don't need to go out, sit home and buy the ingredients, cook for yourself. That is a fun, creativity you brought up. So then, because now it's something that you have thought of and it works for you, then it makes it more interesting and more. It's not like I'm trying to copy someone to be in that person's fun mood. But what makes it more fun for you? What do you do that makes you enjoy? Like sometimes we make jokes and we laugh at it. It's part of it. It works for us. We are both comedians in a funny way. So we make our own jokes. And then in our private time, so we make our own jokes and it brings the fun. So then I know that, I can make jokes, she can make jokes. We should add it to the fun aspects.
Wow.
What's one thing you're believing in for the future, either individually or together?
Individually or together?
Well, we're about to get married, so it's a whole new season.
Watch out.
So that's just the season I'm looking forward to. I think. I can't think that far ahead about that.
I mean, for one thing, I've not been married. I've not married
so I'm like,
before, so I like the whole surpriseness of it. It's like just looking forward to it.
Just the whole adventure of it, even
just
the
looking
ups
forward
and
to
downs,
that.
I think.
Just it's nice that going into a journey where you've never been there before. So it's also one thing. The same thing for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't wait. So guys, their wedding is coming up in a few weeks.
Can't quite believe that it's happening so soon. It's like hit me. But I'm also really excited because I'm like, I've been engaged for a while, obviously. But I'm like, yay, it's actually it's coming. So it's good.
Wow. So
I would say.
God is in the center.
Oh yeah.
Amen.
So I'll actually be the one to broadcast. So watch out for Flo and Emmanuel 2021. All right, thank you guys.
Thanks so much. Bye.